Tax collections continuing to go well. As of today, we've collected about 92% of the taxes. So that's pretty good. We'll collect right through May. I processed all the February payroll. I'm working on payroll this week. I've been working with the new SDL on implementing the new system that we're going to use throughout the town. We expect to have that up and running later this month. Corey and Brooke have done a lot of the groundwork on that project. I've been heavily focused on taxes and their stuff. Over the couple weeks, I've also sat in on the meetings with the potential payroll companies, insurance brokers, participated in the interviews with the new bookkeeper. As we continue working through some of these transitions, it's nice to be involved in a lot of that. I've been working on getting all of the financial information together because Kim and Tanner are going to come do the financial audit Wednesday, I believe. I've never done the audit before, so I'll try to get everything I could possibly have together and hope that's what we're looking for. And I think that's all I have.
A motion to accept the report. Or we want to go through all communication statements. Who'd like to go next?
Got the town attorney listed.
The report.
Nothing new to report. I understand that the siding ordinance revisions are being worked on by Member Voorhees and the code enforcement officer. Once those are ready for the legal review, we can do that.
It's real close.
Okay, no rush on my part, but and other than that, nothing new to report.
Okay, thank you. The town board.
I be attending the CBA meeting Thursday night, report in at the next town board meeting. Myself and the supervisor met with the highway superintendent, deputy highway superintendent, the foreman, and the head mechanic Wednesday, the 25th. I think that meeting was very productive. We had a long discussion on soccer field enlargement, the parking lot, the splash park enlargement, Stony Lonesome Road, Mike Graves' wall, the hamlet, the sidewalks in the hamlet from Miles Square to 251 Linear Trail. And like I said, the proposed changes to the sign ordinance are almost ready for the town attorney to review.
Thank you.
On February 11th, I attended the Historic Preservation Committee. We reviewed the status of Schoolhouse 13 on Miles Square Road, which is eligible for listing on the State Registry of Historic Places, and it's not listed on the Town of Mendon's Historic Registry. There was a citizen who is not a resident of the Town of Mendon, but lives nearby, who has been inquiring about it and wrote a letter to the owner who lives out of state. There's not much we can do about it, but she did share her letter with us. And then we have been talking about updating and finalizing the EPOD 5 map for the town board approval. Met with on February 23rd with the deputy supervisor and the supervisor to review some of the town policies and the employee handbook to work on updating. So hopefully if we get a new HR person, we will be making progress with that. On March 3rd, attended the Climate Smart Task Force, and we had some interested residents send letters of intent, and I believe interviews will be taking place for that. And then Rebecca set up a mission and goals for the teams, and I will let her go into more detail about that. And then last week I took online training for municipal boot camp from big to small, developing implementation of comprehensive plans.
Great. So busy month. I attended the ECB, Environmental Conservation Board, on February 10th. We mostly talked about potential updates to EPODs that might come in the future, and talked a bit about some grant opportunities as well. But there were no active applications or projects that they needed to review at that meeting. On March 2nd, I attended the library meeting. They have a lot going on right now. They have a Causewave, I mentioned this last time, a grant which is not, it's a small grant to submit for a mini marketing campaign to celebrate their 15-year anniversary. So they're coming up with some, they're meeting with that team and thinking about what kind of communications materials they can put out to celebrate that anniversary. They're also getting going with their Sustainable Libraries Initiative, which really mirrors the Climate Smart Communities Task Force, but for libraries. And they're getting a monthly meeting set up. They recruited me to attend as a participant and liaison to the town's activities. So that'll be the fourth Mondays of the month. They also approved a sustainable purchasing policy. So that was exciting to see. I think that's something we might be able to do as part of our Climate Smart Communities Task Force. And they're gearing up to start their summer reading program. Well, it's a couple months away, but a couple months comes quick. So that starts in June. Lastly, they're completing their annual report, and they need our annual financial report in order to complete theirs. So they're just waiting on us. Not that you're, yeah, they're just looking forward to that. And then attended the annual training in the New York Association of Towns annual conference and training in New York City with Tanner Joe in February, and attended some really fantastic training sessions. I focused a lot of my time, as you can select, on budget and analyzing financial conditions, as well as looking at different grant opportunities, particularly for environments. So that was a great opportunity. So yeah, I'll stop there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you know who the library asked for the financial report? Have you gotten a request for it? I have it. I can send it over. I didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
Nobody's asked for anything.
Maybe they're used to it just getting sent automatically, and so didn't think to ask.
Okay.
So
all right,
I
I'll get it
they
over
didn't say.
tomorrow.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
It was like a lot longer than a month ago that we went to the Association of County events.
Well, it was this month, right? Yeah, okay.
It was.
Yeah.
A lot of really good training sessions from the AOT event. I know we talked specifically about the EMS. There was a lot of people in that meeting that are facing some of the same fiscal challenges and EMS coverage challenges that we are. So it was really good to be able to kind of share what some of our challenges are. We were able to talk through a little bit about what our contract looks like versus other towns' contracts, and then really look at and talk with New York State representatives about the reimbursement mechanisms for Medicare and Medicaid for EMS rides. So it was really good to be able to kind of get time with our state representatives, talk about the challenge and the pressure that it puts on some of the local fiscal policies. For training, did a couple different financial trainings. So met with the New York Comptroller's office to go through and get kind of an ad hoc, what does a good AFR look like? What are key things to look for? What are, what you should be doing as you go through it. Also did a course on GAAP versus GASB accounting. So that's kind of standard industry accounting, regulation versus municipal accounting. And then received the financial information for FY25 to start going through and preparing for the AFR. And then no planning board meeting since the last session, but we do have an agenda, so there will be one next week. That's it.
So on to the town engineer.
Good evening. Last week we had a good meeting with the supervisor and the owner of Michael Graves, 13 Intermended Road. We talked to those who may not be familiar. There's an existing retaining wall out front of the property. It's indeed a significant repair or restoration. We got some preliminary pricing, which totaled about $62,000. And in meeting with Mike and talking through that process, I think we come to a good resolution of that wall could be removed and that we could provide some additional fill in that area and grade it away to make a better, safer location. So we're going to work on developing a plan for him that we can all review for the owner, the attorney, and that way we can kind of sign off on what can we do on his property to make it more safe and not have to construct a $62,000 wall. So there was a good meeting. The other item I wanted to highlight was our Stony Lonesome Road closure discussions. Joe and I have a meeting tomorrow with New York State DOT. Joe had an idea about maybe making Stony Lonesome Road one way in both directions, east, west. And we're gonna have to have that discussion with the DOT to see what their thoughts are on that. And we're also working with Joe on different grant opportunities, so those have been our kind of our focus points for this past month.
Great, thanks. Okay, highway superintendent.
So far, we have 83 trips year to date for plowing, salting and stuff like that. Our salt inventory is building back up. Since I've got a little bit of spring weather, but we're getting deliveries pretty well on time now, so it's salt mine is loosened up. Put a new Freightliner 10-wheeler plow truck in service a couple weeks ago. We demoed a couple of wood chippers, a Vermeer and a Morbark. Should be in your packet there. There should be quotes for purchase of a new one. The current Morbark will send to surplus auction when we're ready to do that. Crater Lakes construction started today. Doing the work on a cold storage part of the one building that we have. Doing the ceiling work and stuff like that. We're getting quotes to continue that project as far as insulating the walls and see what our options are there, whether we're gonna go with normal long insulation or regular insulation, or if we're gonna go with a foam. Foam is pretty expensive, so but the R factor is significantly better, so that's still a work in progress on that. Yeah, we had thanks to Joe and myself, we kind of organized some healthcare discussion meetings and stuff like that. Those seem to be very positive, so got some good options, I think, working ahead. So we had one meeting this morning with Michelle and I guess you call it B&B insurance and brokerage place for a consortium system. So they went very well. That's pretty much where we got, so.
Good, thanks. The addition of that salt barn some years ago, Bud Smith's drain there that came to fruition.
Right.
It's really been really helpful to our town.
It has helped maintain adequate inventory, because it was, our inventory got pretty low for a couple of weeks this winter, so. But we were out every day for, 5-6 weeks in a row, was made a big difference, so. Inventory is good now, so.
I know that you put a lot of time and effort into making sure we had a large stock of salt
Right.
early in the season. And that barn that you have enabled that because we can store it. And so that's good wisdom and thinking
Yep.
ahead. Appreciate it very much. It's some towns might be running out of salt. And we didn't, so.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and on to supervisors communication. I also attended the New York Association of Towns training event. Finance was a focus, developing a better budget, importance to monitoring the town's financial condition, taking action as needed, factors that affect the budget, especially our out of control factors like extreme weather, like we've experienced this year. Being able to evaluate our cash solvency, our budgetary solvency, our long-term solvency, and our service level solvency, learning what those are and how to manage some of those. Those are items that I will be discussing with the board when we start doing our budget study. Town Finance School coming up in April will get a more in-depth plunge into town finances and budgeting. I plan to attend that. I don't know if it'll be online but I would like a board member or two to participate in that. So you'll hear more about that as we move along. I wanted to mention that they didn't mention town names, but there are a lot of small town governments out there really questioning their ability to even keep their doors open. What they're hearing is that, a lot of towns are depleting their reserves to try and balance their budget. And doing that year after year, it's not allowing them to stay solvent. So, we're in very good shape, very good condition. And, we don't have any fears of that, but we certainly will be paying attention and watching what's happening all around us and tracking where the budget money is going and learning more and more about that as we go. Also, I learned there's access to what they call a fiscal stress monitoring system. And there's a lot of tools that go along with that. And I wanted to find out more about that, see if we can apply that to our finances and how it might help us manage them. I learned about public pensions, enhancing infrastructure, countless grant programs, supporting our seniors, clean energy projects, and that's pretty much it. In the interest of improving workflow and continuity relative to managing town hall, I welcome our newest employee, Janet Wade, as our new supervisor's bookkeeper. Welcome, Janet. I met with Adam Bello through the Monroe County Supervisors Group. He discussed the big issue about lack of housing that we're all faced with. He shared some statistics. Home inventory is down 58% in Monroe County. Sales prices are surging 160%. Listings are down about 120%. Median home price is up 80% over the past 6 years, while the inventory, of course, is way down. And independent senior living accommodations are way down with no ability for people to downsize in place. So kind of grim statistics, but the follow-up to that is that the state is well aware of that. The state and the county are working together to create grants, more budget, and a promise to diminish or lessen regulation so that we could speed up the process of development. And they said they used the number 2 years. So I was kind of appalled that it takes 2 years to process some of these developments, but I guess that was a good thing to get it down to 2 years. So share that with you. I met with all the top executives at the Monroe County Water Authority. We discussed the issues we are having here in the hamlet. They have been very responsive. Well, they've been somewhat responsive. We had a resident I told them about, and they sent a truck out right on Friday afternoon and took care of that person's issue temporarily. They shared with me that the asphalt plant doesn't open up, so if they're fixing a driveway, there's some limitations there. They can't certainly seed ground in March, so there's things like that. But I was quick to point out to them that we've looked at the same properties that have had breaks over the years where they never finished the work. And you can see year after year, the pictures of the gravel where there's supposed to be lawn, things like that, or no pavement where it's supposed to be paved. So I was quick to point that out. I was polite and professional about it. And I think they received it well and they're being responsive. So the big question is, does our one section of Main in the hamlet that runs pretty close to the Four Corners there, does that section need to be replaced? So I asked a lot of questions about that. They assured me they would check all the statistics on that and get back to me as to whether or not they thought that section should be replaced. So I'll be pushing them on that, learning as much as I can and sharing that with all of you as I learn more. So I thought overall it was a very positive meeting. I met with the library trustees this past month. That was a really good meeting. I've spent a great deal of time researching and interviewing new payroll companies. I should say we, not me and a lot of other people here that work for the town. This has led to the town contracting with a new payroll company, which will save the town an enormous amount of money, tens of thousands of dollars. That's if the board approves that. tonight, that resolution tonight, of course, but, the technology offered by this particular company that we are wanting to engage with, will produce, a huge labor savings as well. A simple click will produce a required retirement report that was consuming nearly a day's of work to provide fast. So, I wanted to mention also that we're using the team approach to hire our new bookkeeper, to hire our health insurance, to look at our health insurance company, to look at this payroll companies that we interviewed. We're asking employees from the town, pooling our resources and having group meetings. So it isn't just me deciding and engaging with these individuals or companies. It's a team of us. So, you know, the more brains you have, the more ideas and things that maybe weren't thought of come to the table. It's just a great way of managing our town. I believe that's part of my philosophy and what's always worked for me in my past. So I'm glad to be able to be doing that. Michelle, Pete, Denise, Amy, all participated in these meetings and as many as they could or parts of them. And we got feedback from everybody before a decision was made. And it was interesting though, at the end, after all the questions were asked and all the information was gathered, the team seemed to always seem to agree on what was the best situation or the best move. So I love that approach and I love hearing from people that work here, competent people, smart people that work here and that can do what's best for the town. Amy and I are going to meet with Monroe County Sheriff Baxter tomorrow morning. We're looking forward to a conversation about the sheriff patrols of Mendon, speed limits and safety. And we're also expecting to get an update on the recent accident data for Stony Lonesome Road. We cleared a lot of the brush out of that one intersection, that one corner. And that the feedback seems to be that it has helped a great deal. I want to see if there's data on that and hopefully I'll gather that tomorrow morning. Our town engineer, Tom, he mentioned the Stony Lonesome project, so you pretty much know where we are at with that. Still a lot of work to do there, but we're on it and hope to have that resolved in the next few months. I hope you're dealing with the state county. You never know, but another important factor are the residents. And I have spoke to some residents from Stony Lonesome Road. And I think they're missing some information in terms of some of the ways they're thinking about, and not everybody, we haven't met with everybody, but some of the feedback I've got, it seems clear to me they don't have all the information and I want to make sure we provide all the information to the public. I want to hold a meeting that invites all of the Stony Lonesome residents in the public to come and discuss it, share data, share information, and get it out in front of them and see where we're at with that. Let's see. You mentioned the new health insurance companies. Bottom line on the health insurance companies, we're looking for better coverage at a lower price. There are, in New York City, I learned there are consortiums out there. We're contacting these consortiums to see if we can qualify to be part of any of them. We met with one today that looked really promising, but we have more work to do in that area. The bottom line, our health insurance is not very good for our employees. It's not the greatest. And I think we can do a better job. I think they deserve that. So we're going to be looking into that using the same group approach and seeing what we can come up with over the next couple of months. Someone mentioned EV charging at the library. That equipment's been defunct for some time. I've been working on that. Apparently there was a resolution passed to purchase some new software for that equipment. And it was never acted on. I don't know why, but I have theory. And the theory is that what I found out from that same company that was offering that software is that they can no longer guarantee that would solve the problem. So we're back to looking at other solutions for the EV chargers, which at this point are replacing the units that are there. The price range is $7,000 to $14,000, depending on who you talk to and exactly what you're putting in. There is some grant money for infrastructure on that. There's possibly some grant money that MRB is looking into for us for replacing that equipment. The downside is, do we spend money now, let's say $8,000 to $9,000 and replace those units so that they're working? Or, and that would be town money, or do we wait till fall and there are grants that'll be coming up that we can apply for, wait, and hopefully get money to pay for that $7,000 to $10,000 to replace that equipment. So that's where we're at with that. If there's any discussion, I would open up the floor if anyone wants to talk about that. If you want to come in and talk about it, I can share what I've learned. Sign regulation, it was brought up tonight. We did resolve a situation that was ongoing. We did it by enforcing the existing law. There was no violation of anybody's freedom of speech rights, which I do believe in. We just literally enforced the law that all the reading I've done is pretty much what the Supreme Court has stated in their ultimate decision. They made, I don't know how long ago, there was a decision about freedom of speech and signs some time ago, so. Glad to see that the update is close. I was gonna ask about that and hoping to get that moving forward too. There's just needing clarification, which is what you and Corey are gonna provide.
Yes.
Megan, and clarification, and making it really easy to understand, so it's not vague. There's two interpretations, there's one interpretation. Okay, I continue meeting and working with the mayor and the village. I assure you that each of my meetings, I have to say the mayor's been pretty good. He's any decisions that involve the town, he's been very considerate of the town. So I just want to share that information, and I will continue looking out for the town's best interest in those meetings. But just wanted you to know that there's been some things that are happening within the village that do affect the town, and I have to say that the mayor did put thought into, the mayor and the village board put thought into how those decisions might affect the town. So I do appreciate that. Let's see, Tom mentioned that we resolved the 2-year-old issue with the resident in the hamlet down in the flood zone there. So I'm looking forward to resolving that and saving again. It looks like tens of thousands we could save on that project now that we have an agreement with the homeowner. So. Buildings and grounds, Kevin and I have met, we're working on various projects for the hamlet in particular, but lots of things. He's doing some work on the library, improving the ergonomics of a workspace there that is providing a lot of literally pain for people working at this one particular workstation that multiple people work at. It's just too low. So he's doing all the work he needs to do to raise it up to a higher level. That will be a lot better for the people there. So at a very low cost. So another thing, let's see. He's ordered flowers for the hamlet. So we're looking at hopefully the hamlet looking really good this summer. Carter at the highway department is working on a new replacement vehicle for buildings and grounds. And hopefully we'll hear about that soon. And we're going to run an ad for summer help. Time is now. We have to do that right this month, so we'll get going on that this week. Have something going. And I'm reviewing the budget, the building and grounds budget with Kevin to verify budget funds from summer help as well as other plans that he has on and all the other work he does for the town. I just want to mention too, I already talked about it, but instituting this new policy regarding job interviews, company interviews, that we're just going to go forward with that. I think everyone that's participated agrees it's a good plan and it works. So keep going with that. And, the last thing I have to say is that I'm coming across myself scams in emails, getting emails from fake companies. I just want to mention to everybody here, it's, you gotta really be diligent. It's, we get so busy and it's so easy. It looks just like the company we do business with. I had a really weird one today, looking on the calendar, I don't know how it got in the calendar, no idea. But it's in my Google Calendar that a payment will come off of our credit card to pay for a service nobody's heard of. I checked with Danny and I checked with Michelle, and nobody knows anything about this service. So these are the kinds of things that are happening. We really have to be diligent and careful. There are towns that have lost many thousands of dollars. I've heard those stories at the conference we went to also.
Do you have is there a training that you can provide to town employees to help them identify phishing attempts?
There is a training and,
If it'd be taken,
Been taken already?
well, I don't know this year, but each year.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, we'll make sure,
Cybersecurity, all-
we'll make sure we get that out there. We're working on that.
Interesting you say that. I actually got a text from you last week telling me that I had to go get gift cards for the town. I started to forward it to you so that you knew.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's crazy. So be careful. That concludes the supervisor's, communication.
Busy month.
Well, yes, there's a lot that you've done over the last month, Joe. Thank you for all that. But before we move on, I just wanted to ask a quick question about the Stony Lonesome, if it's okay.
Of
The
course,
Stony Lonesome Road. So I learned that there is money available from the state, 1.5 million or something like that, to address that intersection in the year 2029. So when you're having a conversation with the New York State Department of Transportation tomorrow, can you ask about that and ask how, you know, that any work we do now on that intersection might impact whatever they're planning?
Yeah, we can definitely ask that question.
Okay.
I think they will be open to hearing that, and I think they know that fact that they may have already earmarked that for other projects too, which is see what their circumstances, how we can make improvements.
I mean, 5 years from now is a long time when you have a problematic intersection, so it might be a moot point. We might need to do something sooner than what they're able to get in there and work on, but it's worth just having the conversation. What?
definitely.
Yeah,
So noted.
yeah.
Thank you for bringing it up. Any other discussion on supervisor's communication or anybody else's communication for that matter? Okay, we'll move on to the amended number 6, which is the supervisor's monthly report. Can I have a motion to approve the supervisor's monthly report? You all have a copy. It's not the recent report, it is.
The changes.
January.
I'm ready, Jean.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Okay, the town clerk's monthly report. You just get that one.
Oh, no, this is my financial.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion. For the February 2026 town clerk's report.
Oh, second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 9th, 2026 board meeting as submitted.
I'll second.
Hey, any discussion?
They were very nice notes.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Vouchers.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve all claims and vouchers number 26-106 through 26-122 on general abstract 26-38 in the amount of $679,552.64.
I'll second.
Second, Any discussion?
I have just one general broad comment to make. It would be great, if not really necessarily related to the specific vouchers. If maybe you'll be doing this, Tanner, have forward looking, here's what we can expect to spend month over month. We don't currently have that. And it might be really helpful to know like what this number means relative to what we think we're gonna spend, and if we're on track or not.
I think we start off beginning of the year higher, and then as we go on through the year, it starts lowering, but I do want to make a comment that $645,493 of that is a check to the Mendon Fire Department. So, just to
So-
clarify that.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it. I have all of the transactions, the reconciliation reports and the budget from 2025. That I'm trying to build kind of an Excel journal. That way we can look and see. I've not done it for 2024 or any other years, but we can build upon that and say, okay, typically we pay $600,000 to the fire department every February. And then whenever we go through to approve the vouchers, we can look and say, okay, this is significantly different from last year, or it's in line with what we've done in the past.
Thank you for doing that. We really need it because it's hard to know how to assess these numbers when it's just kind of floating without context. So other than the bottom lines. So I appreciate that.
I think a couple of things will help. These trainings coming up, participating in those will help. Also, there's tools in our accounting system that will give us percentages of where we're at. How much of our budget, what percent we spent. So accessing and learning how to grasp those tools. I know Michelle has used those in the past, you're talking about it. But it's sharing that with all of you so that we all get a better picture of where we're at.
Maybe as part of the Bureau of Supervisors monthly report, we could move toward having that kind of information provided in addition to what you're already providing. That would be helpful.
Going forward, normally, so for January, it's just the budget. Because nothing's been spent yet. So once the February report comes out, I'll have fund balance sheets that'll tell you what each line has left, what we've spent
Yes.
out of each line. But that'll start February.
Okay.
That hopefully it'll be tomorrow. The bank statements don't come until the 10th. So I haven't received them all to even being able to reconcile them yet. Just the meeting was so early in the month.
Okay. And I didn't mean that as any kind
No, I
of
know.
fight against you. Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
so it's
Okay.
it's just a matter of waiting for those. In January, there's not much to give you because nothing's been spent yet. So.
All right.
Money's left in the fire district, not the fire department.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's what I raise out of our tax, from the tax money that they put in their budget.
Everybody has a line on their tax bill, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so any other discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Right, general abstract B. I will make a motion to approve all claims and vouchers number 26-123 to 26-160 on general abstract 26-3B in the amount of $26,641.98.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Highway abstract.
I will make a motion to approve all claims and vouchers number 26-042 to 26-073 on highway abstract 26-3 in the amount of $105,755.62.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Library abstract.
Library abstract vouchers number 26-018 to 26-025 on library abstract 26-03A in the amount of $3,187.78 were presented to the town board. And library abstract B number 26-026 to 26-033 on abstract 26-03B in the amount of $4,790.18 was presented. And we don't have to do anything. That's just,
Okay, you don't have to pass that.
no.
Library abstract B. You read that one?
Yep.
Thank you. Buildings and grounds.
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of a portable cold water pressure washer for the Buildings and Grounds Department from Kettner Equipment, 2365 Fire Hall Road, Kennebec, New York, the amount of $3,900 to be paid from account A1620.2. As per the procurement policy, 3 written codes have been provided in supporting documentation.
Is that the right code? Budget code?
Thanks.
It is? Okay.
What?
Just checking.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I just want to say thank you to Peter for having the 3 quotes and following the procurement policy.
We are done here, yeah.
All in favor?
Was,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tanner.
was this an expected expense? Was it budgeted, part of the budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You opposed? So moved. Highway Department, tow behind wood brush chipper.
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of a tow behind wood brush chipper for the Highway Department of Tracy Road Equipment, 300 Middle Road, Henrietta, New York. The amount of $62,005.13 to be paid from account DB 5110.2. As per the procurement policy, 3 written quotes have been provided for supporting documentation.
Second,
A second.
any discussion?
Can I-
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, so I saw the note, the Beamer Road one.
Right.
The,
The design and a fee going into that, we did not feel was the best option for the way that wood is processed all through the chipper. That's why the Morbark has a way better design. And we felt it was a safer machine, more operator friendly.
Yeah.
So that's why we recommended the Morbark.
thanks.
That was what I was gonna ask too, is, you know, the justification is you only get that one little space to fill it in, so I understand, but this speaks to maybe our need to look at our procurement policy and some of the justifications that we provide on the quotes that I know we're gonna do a study on later, so appreciate your further explanation on it.
And then, Mr. Supervisor, if I may, just note for the record, this is actually being purchased on the state contract.
Yes, it is.
So GML procurement requirements for bidding do not
Right.
apply. Just noting that for the minutes. No problem.
Okay. We have,
All in favor?
Doesn't all in favor.
all in favor,
Aye.
say aye. Any opposed? So moved. Bill back for equipment.
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Please.
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of a tilt deck equipment trailer for the highway department from Davis Trailer World in the amount of $14,195 to be paid from the account DB 5110.2. As per the procurement policy, there are 3 written quotes and supporting documentation.
Is this one off the state contract as well? Yeah.
This is not, but the threshold for having to go out to bid is 35,000. So
Second,
I'll second.
hey, all in, any discussion? Can I-
Same question, if,
The low bid, the low bid trailer does not meet the spec that we're looking for. So otherwise we would have to go to something more custom built. The trailer from Davis Trailer World we do already have an existing trailer that matches that spec. So that's why we went with that manufacturer also.
okay, the justification was quality, durability issues and life expectancy, is that related to the, okay. Okay,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Okay, declaration of surplus. I'll make a motion. Declare the following surplus and authorize its disposition. approximately 50 worn out office chairs from the third floor storage area at the town hall.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
Do these need to be replaced?
Yeah, like what are,
They were the chairs that used to be here.
Okay.
We want a field trip after if you'd like to.
is there a recycling opportunity here we could take advantage of? Like, do you know, how do you dispose of 50 shares?
Well,
You're gonna do that?
gonna get a dumpster and then they
Okay.
recycle. For metal salvage and stuff like that,
Okay.
so. it's-
Would anybody want them or are they free? No. Okay.
Okay.
But I don't
They're
know,
not, okay.
I'd say they're expired.
Expired.
Extremely.
Right? I don't mind sharing, having done this with our school back in, oftentimes the stuff that's being retired, you know, you think, oh, we could give it away, there's gotta be a charity that'll use it, but there's liability issues. And, you know, someone sits in the chair and it breaks, they hit the ground. Where'd you get that chair? So unfortunately, the way our system's set up, virtually, so be it. All in favor?
Okay.
The opposed? So moved. New York Planning Federation Annual Conference registration.
I'll move to amend the original resolution approving Corey Gates and Brooke Buckland to attend the New York Planning Federation Conference in Cooperstown, New York, April 19th through 21st. This will authorize the registration fee of $300 per person and the reimbursement for conference-related expenses, including lodging, meals, transportation for both attendees, all not to exceed $1,500.
Second.
Any discussion? I just want to mention that there were originally 4 people slotted for this training, and the board, and I think in December it was, no, but I think I'm pretty sure it was December, decided to only send 2. And you know, I just think we need to take a good look at that, and of course, look at our budget. But I think we need to be reconsidering. If we have board members and committee members that need training, especially if there's new people, I think we have to take a second look at that. I know there was good reason and rationale back in December. But I just want to say, I want to be looking forward to trying to increase the amount of training. Education is where it's at, and, you know, the smarter you can make people and the more knowledge they can gather, the better the town runs, so. So I do want to take that.
Sorry, I thought you were done.
Go ahead.
I have a vague recollection, maybe you do too, that there was a closer opportunity that didn't require them traveling. Is that what it was?
There's a cost benefit, yes.
Yeah,
For
so
that,
it-
yes.
So I don't remember what that
They could
closer
do it, they
opportunity
could do
was.
it online. There was online.
Yeah,
training
there's some.
available.
So part of the problem with that though is finding the online courses that would be much easier and cheaper. So it's something we're gonna have to roll into what we're doing in town hall every day too. So trying to find those, figure it out, what's the cost difference, was there an advantage to going live versus video? And consider all those things, but I think we do need to be concerned and thinking about training and education for everyone that works for the town. Okay, so all in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? So moved. Complete payroll.
I move to authorize Supervisor Aletti to enter into a contract with Complete Payroll to handle the town's payroll starting April 1st, 2026. The new contract will increase services, save town employees time, and reduce the town's annual expense by approximately $39,000 per year. Annual fee not to exceed $8,293.82, paid out of account A1310.4.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, is there a contract somewhere we could look at?
Okay, good question. The truth is, that's a misword. There's no contract. It is a month-to-month basis. if we don't like it, we can get out whenever we want. We did a lot of homework on this. They represent and do payroll for hundreds of towns, small towns, big towns. They are considered a regional company, not local or not in Rochester, but there's, you know, as I mentioned before, we had a team of people looking at this. We were unanimous in it. We turned over every stone. We really were diligent about this, especially since, you know, it hasn't been so great with our current payroll provider. So the good news is there is no contract. So we're not obligated if things aren't going well. Ever since we interviewed with these people, interviewed them, everywhere I go and mention, oh, who are you looking at, or what company, Complete Payroll, oh my God, they're so fantastic. The service is amazing. I mean, it's nothing but positive we hear. We've heard that from about the other company too. But there were some factors that were just better with this particular company. So that's my 2 cents worth on that.
Has the other company been notified that we're not continuing with them?
Yes,
Okay.
and we had to give them 90 days notice. So that's how another awful feature in that 2-year contract. So I did do that way back when I first started. So
Are there any services that we are losing by moving to this that we should be aware of? Or
we are losing a lot of services that we never use. They have no use for. So that we're being charged for under a 2-year contract. So
you were in the meeting?
I agree 100% with this, yes. The current people have been absolute nightmare. And all the things they offer, it doesn't work for a municipality. So Complete Payroll, they work with municipalities all over the state. They're very versed, like they're even as far as gold certified in New York State payroll or retirement reporting. And that's unheard of. So
I actually spoke to someone this weekend who uses Complete Payroll and had great things. to
I have
say.
asked around and actually, one of my good friends sells them their HR software that they use, and she said they're a great company, and she's not even from around here. So, yeah, no,
I'll add that the
Never
HR
heard
is one of our needs here.
yes.
You know,
Now that I don't know if they're
Yeah.
gonna, that's an extra fee, right?
yes, but there is a free part.
Yes.
And then there is a $100 a month part. And then there is, we can also, if we have a real urgent need where we really need someone in town hall, on the job, investigating, we can get that through them as well.
And versus,
They have a whole department that does that.
yeah, I mean, right now, what we would pay them all year is like a month and a half of what we're using now.
So I was trying to see if I understood this correctly. So the total fee, it's not like the one-time annual fee is 8,000 and then
No,
there's
they
the
pay
monthly
like
fee.
$600 a month. We're used to almost
That's
5,000.
amazing.
It's just like, what, how?
You
know?
Right?
80, our current provider is very expensive. I know I've talked with you a little bit. I've talked with Amy. I've talked with my HR people at work about some of the issues that they have with, because we use the same provider that
Yes.
our current provider is. I just want to say thank you again for continuing to help out with payroll and make sure that our town employees are paid on time and accurately. If this helps free up your time while we get somebody on board and to take that over full time.
And it'll be good because I think the bookkeeper that, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
That's coming on can kind of be there from the setup and learn
Yeah.
as it starts. So hopefully that will be.
This is about as easy a vote as I think we will ever do.
Yeah.
So great find and thanks for the work.
Yeah.
One more payroll.
One more payroll. But I'll finish this one and then one more. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
2 more. Thank you, really, Michelle. I thank you before many times, but I can't thank you enough for seeing it through, keeping everything going. Means a
I don't
lot
want
to
the employees
everybody.
not to get paid. They'd be angry.
Yep. Okay, and just so you know, there'll be 4 of us taking the training. So Another initiative is to not have just one person who does a job or task. So you need to have multiple people cross-trained or, so that if somebody's not there, we can still function and not fall apart. So that's another important thing that we're instituting and trying to work on improving. In that area. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. I'll make a motion to appoint Earl DeBoo as deputy chair.
New
Oh,
CP.
oh, sorry, yeah, somebody caught it. We have a new, oh, no, that's.
No,
That's
we're
15.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we're
right.
okay.
We're at 15.
Oh,
Yeah, we're good. Well, thank you.
oh,
I appreciate that. Because normally you'd be right.
I think I am right, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
you're right.
15, planning board, I'm making a motion to appoint Earl DeRue as deputy chair of the planning board, term to expire 12/31/26.
Second that.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Number 16, the new number 16, position announcement and appointment. I'm making a motion to approve the change of pay and hours for the bookkeeper position to 20 hours per week at a rate of $23 per hour, paid from the supervisor personnel account A1220.1. Second,
I'll second.
any discussion?
Who said that?
I did.
Rebecca.
So this is to replace, who was it?
Janice,
Janice,
our
who
previous person.
didn't work, and this is a lower per hourly than
Yes.
Janice, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Hers was significantly higher.
A lot lower, which is nice, but
Yeah.
to quantify,
Right,
Janice had a lot of other experiences, didn't work out, but, so there was, other things that the town needed that she was gonna be providing. And she didn't, so, just so you have an idea of that.
so what's the new person's name?
Janet Way,
Janet Way, is she, I'm just curious about her, is she local or,
yes, she's local,
okay,
worked at the Mendon Market for 20 years,
oh,
doing accounting and payroll.
wonderful,
Her husband works for the highway department.
I love that,
She's working at the rec center too.
I love that.
And again, at the end of that interview, it was unanimous, hands down, all said, yep, so. Okay, all in favor?
Okay.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. That was the new number 16, so, now we move on to our almost final event of the night.
Hmm.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Kim brought this study session up. We kind of looked at it last month and didn't really have the paperwork we had wasn't really getting a decent session to discuss. So Kim came up with some new ones, Kim, and I think maybe Mo and y'all got that ahead of time and looked it over, so now we're prepared to get some discussion about this.
I did spend quite some time over the last month looking at the ethics board policy and the code of ethics. So if we want to go back to that at some point, I would love to.
Okay,
I know not today, but
yeah.
yeah.
What I would propose is possibly, and see what y'all think, how about a town hall meeting? Because it has to be an open meeting if we're all together, right? But how else do we discuss it? So maybe it would be an added meeting for the month. But it might be a way where there's no public comment or typically there's not. I suppose we could take some feedback from people, but in general, it's a work session. It's designed for us to have discussion, to talk it through, if it's too boring for someone, they don't have to come. So that's what I propose we do. And maybe work through several of these pieces. I don't know, maybe Kim and Becky, or I don't know, any of you have looked close at the manual. But
No, I want to, like, I would like to know what are all the policies in the manual,
Yeah.
first of all, like, what's a list of all of them?
Yeah.
Just to have an accounting,
Okay.
and then I know that you've started copying.
there
Some of the
there was some
policies,
confusion,
yeah.
I apologize, because there was some confusion early on. Because I thought, it was a miscommunication or misunderstanding on my part, I thought you were talking about the employee manual. That you weren't, and I discovered that last month, you
Yeah,
know.
when we met.
So, but we have 3 employee manuals, so that's why I wasn't like, oh, copy these, no, that's crazy to copy those. Especially since our new payroll company, as well as this new possible healthcare company, offers these things for free. Employee handbooks that we can just take, they're modernized, they have the legal requirements in there that are up to date. And now we can edit those and make them our own, as opposed to working on 3.
Well, and there's a lot of things in the policy and procedure manual that go hand in hand with the employee manual, so.
So maybe we can just use the same language and whatever we develop for town board manual, that we can just pop into the employee manual as needed.
I would feel nervous about just kind of, I know you said take what the new payroll company has.
Well, it's a
um,
starting point.
As a starting point, but ours is also a good starting point. I mean, you would still want to do that crosswalk between the two, because they might not have things that we need, and
It's true.
you know.
It's really
so-
hard to do, but it's true.
Yeah, but you start somewhere like we are, and, you know, pick the high priority ones to start with and work down.
And there's tools out there that we can utilize to make comparisons and then discuss the comparisons.
There's a lot available with AI.
Yep.
For those where they can take a look at those policies for you.
And
Give you
make
an assessment.
comparisons, and then we discuss those. I mean, there's a few ways to do it to make it easier, more interesting.
I have a completely revised handbook. And I could send out to you that I did a year and a half ago. Yep.
Is it
Yeah.
digital?
It's
Yes.
all on, yeah. it's
Okay,
all
because I had the paper copy of that.
No, I redid it. I redid it with all of the policies, added in, redone,
I'd love to see
and
that.
I'll send
There
it
we
out. to
go.
everybody.
I thought
It
that,
just never got used. Like, I don't remember why we didn't use it. Like, everybody was like focused on making ADP do it. and
Right.
I was done with ADP, so I just did it myself, and then it just sits in my Google Docs.
well, let's
So
have it.
I'll send it out.
Is the handbook just like common terms for applying the policies and procedures,
It's
or?
what we give a new employee restarts. They know all their benefits, what our policies are.
The IT.
And I updated it with all new that, you know, anytime we change something. Yes. So I'll send that out. Probably by now, there might have been a couple more changes that I missed, but it's a lot better than the last.
Yeah, the formatting was.
Yeah.
Very updated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so back to some of the things that we were sent. Discussion about yeah, you picked a couple. Are there anything specific you'd like to discuss about any of them, or?
I think the procurement policy is the most up-to-date policy, actually.
Which is what did that one.
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
That was just updated in 2024.
That's pretty much found by general municipal law.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of choice.
Kind of limited, right?
Right.
Kind of limited, so it's a boilerplate item that we can probably just stamp right into our manual. But, you know, it's good to go over these things.
It is, because
It's educational.
especially when you're doing vouchers,
Yeah.
so you know when you should have the 2 written quotes or the 3 written quotes.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice to, maybe we need to run that through AI to make bullet points out of it, so you could use it as a quick reference manual.
That's pretty good.
There's a few things that came up with that could improve it, but they're only minor opportunities for improvement. Things like, there's not a lot in there about conflict of interest protections. Maybe we could beef up, some of the language around, the RFQ request, you know, your evaluation of the quotes, which is something we talked about tonight. It's in there, but it could maybe just be beefed up a little bit more to be clearer. But you're right, I think it's pretty good overall. Minor opportunities for improvement.
The other one was hiring. That was educational for me, reading all of
Mr.
that.
Supervisor, if I may, just, if I could make just one suggestion to the board, and I don't know how applicable this is because I looked to your subject matter experts, but the thresholds for each of the different levels of proof that you need are relatively low. I don't know the last time you had increased those, but things are much more expensive these days. So it may be that something that wouldn't have required 3 quotes before now does, just because costs have gone up. So my only recommendation would be to check with people and see if these are still workable numbers for. the
Yeah, this was 2
thresholds.
years ago, so yeah.
So these are not our numbers. Aren't these numbers
Yes,
that are
But
dictated?
she's
by the-
referring to these.
Yeah, she's referring to the limitation.
So like anytime
Valid-
a highway buys something, we might
In
wanna.
other words, the department head can order
Thresholds.
anything up to $249,
These are
I think
thresholds.
it is. I think it's-
Okay,
And
I'm not
99
hands down
cents.
Yes.
So, you know, that
Okay, she
means,
said that.
Kevin from Buildings and Grounds can order something for less money than that without seeking it, right? So we'll still keep an eye on it.
Can you, what was it? Can you say that comment again so I can write it down? What would you recommend doing?
Just revisiting the threshold amounts for the different levels of proof that's on page 2 of the policy. You know, I would suggest that the department heads and the people who actually work with these on a regular basis be consulted just to make sure that these are still workable numbers. Just given the way that costs have increased in the last several years, a lot of the municipalities that I work with have taken this type of increase.
Just might make it easier to manage, given the higher inflated prices that we're faced with, so. I think that is a good suggestion. Anyone else have any other comments about those policies?
The procurement policy? The hiring
Or the
policy
hiring-
is like 20 years old,
Or the
25 years old.
hiring policy?
Yeah,
Is it really that old?
25 years old.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, they had the same staff for like 40 years. They all retired. So they actually developed policy.
Anything else?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, can I email my things, what I found? I'll just email it to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about email it to me and I'll distribute?
Yeah, that's that. I like it. Okay, so, what do you think about the, a workshop type meeting and when, if you agree that we should do something like that? I mean, there's other ways to do it, that's one suggestion.
So I'm good. I would support it either way. I think we would need to clarify, you mentioned a town hall, if we're opening the public to listen to us discuss it, or if it's more of a roundtable where we're inviting public recommendations, comment, and interaction.
What does everybody think about those two choices? Which one might serve the community better? I mean, do we want to open it up and have people weigh in if they choose to? About things like hiring policy or procurement is pretty much spelled out law.
I think with guardrails, I would love to have the community members weighing in, but with guardrails, because a lot of cooks in the kitchen potentially.
Yeah,
I would prefer a workshop. Actually, just with us, we take a long time. Having
Yeah.
an open forum would be, I think, hard.
So maybe a
Days.
workshop where we open up some public comments at some point, maybe halfway through the workshop, maybe at the end. So that people can comment, because you never know, we might get good ideas from people that are taking time out of their beautiful day to come and help us with, our policy. I mean, you know, people are actually that committed to come. I think we should hear them, you know, if they have something to say.
If I could make a suggestion.
Yeah.
Perhaps have the workshop session and then put out the proposed revisions for the comment or the public to comment on at the next board meeting.
Okay.
And that way that you've got a process where you guys who definitely, you know, you're working so hard on this and got the expertise, you're calling on all the right people to help with this. You can put something out to the public can respond to.
So in other words, instead of having public comment, we send notes, information out to the public.
Well, you have a discussion like we're having actually right now.
Just the board.
Just the board, but it's open to the public, so anyone can come and
And listen.
listen or watch. And then at the end of that, suggested revisions are made, and those revisions then go out to the
Okay.
public so that they can comment before it's adopted by the town.
Is this kind of like a public hearing, public comment period?
Modified. It's not
Modified, okay.
It's not required by law, so it's not like a public hearing under the open meetings law. It's more of a courtesy, but you know, certainly I can tell from this board, public input is something that's important to all. And we just need to find a way to make it manageable, so that, you know, you've got clear direction as to what you are asking for.
You're welcome. Okay.
Of course.
Okay, we're on to public comment.
I don't know, talk again.
Gary.
Your payroll that you hired, you said they would benefit going month to month. They drop you in a month. That's what you would have find,
I thought of that, but,
what they say.
based on their 40-year-old track record, it's not likely they would do that. It's a good question.
That is possible.
I suppose it is.
Yeah. And they can raise costs then month to month, you're not under a contract.
The contract would be a month-to-month basis, along with probably a 30-day notice, is what I believe is in there. So in other words, if we wanted to end it, we're saying at the end of this month, it's over, or they can probably do the same thing.
So they could raise the rates too on a month to month basis.
They,
You don't have an annual contract that sets a rate for you. You would have
It's a good point.
next month, we're gonna raise your rates to $10,000.
they do provide an annualized price in the quote they provided.
Not to exceed $8,000 for the year, but that's not in the contract,
Right.
is your point, right?
It's annualized, but it doesn't mean at the end of the year they can't raise the price, but who isn't doing that?
Are there terms and conditions that you sign off on instead of a contract?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
your
not 100%
resolution.
clear, because we
It's your
just,
resolution
did
saying
we-
that it's not them signing a contract, as I understood what you were saying. Anyways, relevant to your, policy and procedures. We thought about talking to other towns instead of reinventing the wheel of all these things. Some towns are more professional than the smaller towns, and they have the same rules and regulations. Your state says you can only buy certain things. So you might want to look down and then rework their change the thing. I know the town spent a lot of money about 10, 12 years ago, hiring some firm up and parenting. And the problem is the town will spend the money to have these procedures all written up and everything. And then year after year, month after month, they change them, they never update. They just pass resolutions, we're gonna do this and that, and they never update the manuals. Then they really become out of date. And that can't be, because that's not any good to the employee. And then your workshops that you were talking about, are they subject to the open meeting law?
Yes.
So you have to have, I believe you have to take public comment. Okay.
There are some exceptions to that, I think,
There's no requirement that public comment be part of any public meeting. There are certain circumstances that require a public hearing. But public comment like we're having right now actually is more of a courtesy and it's not.
I agree with everybody.
I know it sounds weird, but it's.
I know, and you can go to different places of different laws, New York State and town law. All of this,
Yeah.
all these sorts of things, you can find whatever you want. Because even they don't all mesh together. But anyways, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other public comment?
Just, we did a lot of talking about hiring and everything else. What's the chance of getting, or what's the thought on putting, an employment application on a website that could be accessible to individuals? I've had a couple of people have asked me about
Yep.
that and
The new
we got
company,
another couple of copies.
the new company can make all of that public for us, the whole onboarding procedure. Someone could go online, apply, fill everything that's necessary out, have full access to it, do it all themselves, or they can come into town hall.
Right,
One of us will help them. So,
You mean like an application, like somebody's interested, but
Right.
we can help.
be it,
Yeah.
be it accessible.
Yeah,
on
we'll-
the website.
there are provisions in with this company that are free, that
Okay.
included, that we can take a look at. And in the training we get, we'll explain a lot of that. So. You can come with me. it's fine. Hey, I'm doing it. Any other public comment? Hey, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
You.
Hey, Kim.
Yeah.
Just as far as like.
Hey, Kim.